Hi, this is Tamara Kelly from Moogly, and I'm here with Yarnspirations today to do a live lunch and learn for the Lily Sugar and Cream Farming Fresh Crochet Market Tote. It's a mouthful, but it is a really beautiful bag. You can see right here, this is a copy of the PDF that you can download free from yarnspirations.com. Since we are live, I'm going to take just a moment and hit refresh here on my laptop in front of me so I can make sure to catch any comments or questions as they come in here. Let's see. Looks like we are live. I can see myself here. And there we go. Scroll down a little bit so I can see your comments and questions. All right. So thank you again for joining us. If you're just joining us, we are making a Lily Sugar and Cream Market Tote. Again, this right here is the pattern that we're making today. And you should be able to find a link for that right here in the thread. Now, I am, as the name might suggest, we're using Lily Sugar and Cream, right? Everybody's favorite 100% cotton yarn. This pattern does call for 3 balls to make the full-size market tote. This is a lunch and learn, so we won't be making the full-size bag today, but we're definitely going to go over the stitch pattern and the construction itself. So let's go ahead and switch on over to the hand camera, and we'll take a look at the pattern together. Okay, let me get it centered. Here we are. Here you can see this beautiful pattern. It is a mesh or string bag, very typical of that very classic market bag look. And that means the fabric is going to be really nice and stretchy. I have a little swatch of it over here that we'll be returning to later. You can see just how much wonderful stretch and give this pattern has. To make it, I mentioned you'll need 3 balls of the Lily Sugar and Cream in whatever color you'd like to use. And you'll also need, of course, a crochet hook. This one calls for a USH 5mm crochet hook. This one is one of the Twist and Lock interchangeables by Susan Bates. Love these. So you'll notice here that we start out with a chain of 90. And this is going to make a relatively large bag, bigger than we can make in our little lunch and learn today. So if you look at the chart that's actually available on the second page, and if you know how to read charts, you can see this is a multiple of 4 plus 2 for that starting chain. So we're going to make a smaller sample today so we can kind of demonstrate how the whole pattern comes together. So let's go ahead and make our beginning chain. Now, for the full-size bag, you'll want to start with a chain of 90. I'm going to start instead, I think, with a chain of about 14. Again, that's a multiple of 4 plus 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So that's where we're going to start. I've got my slip knot on my hook. Pull it a little bit tighter there, but not too tight. And then we're going to go ahead and chain however many you'd like to start with. Again, if you want to make the full-size bag, you can go ahead and start chaining all the way to 90. I'm going to chain to 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, that will be good for our little sample today. Then what we're going to do for our first row is we want to work 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So I like to work into the back bump of my chains, but you can work under just one of the top loops or both top loops, however you prefer to do it. Doesn't matter at all for this pattern, it's just personal preference. So I'm going to skip the one closest to my hook and go to that second one. Insert my hook, yarn over, pull up my loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 for my first single crochet. Pull up a little bit more yarn here from my skein. I'm using this really lovely green color called Meadow. After that, we begin the repeat that starts with the asterisk and takes us the rest of the way across row 1 here. We chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we skip the next 3 chains and single crochet in the chain after that. So we want to skip the next 3, 1, 2, 3, find the chain after that, and work a single crochet right in there. Really, the only stitches you need for this pattern are chains, single crochets, and a double crochet, but that will come in the next row. For now, we continue with that pattern across. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip the next 3. So come back down in here and find those 3. 1, 2, 3, and single crochet in the stitch after that. And that's what we keep doing all the way across, all the way to the end. So on our little swatch here, we're already at our end. We chain 5 once more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then when we skip 3, that takes us to our very last chain right there. So we know we've counted correctly. Of course, on your full-size bag, you'll have a lot more of those chain 5, skip 3, single crochet repeats for a total of 22 chain 5 spaces. Here you can see we have 3 on the full-size bag. You should have 22. And that's it for row 1. Pretty simple so far. The second row, which we will repeat several times throughout the pattern, is the row where the double crochets come in, but not until the end. We start with a chain 5 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this time, unlike before, it's not going to count, if you will, as a chain 5. Rather, it's going to count as a chain 3 a double crochet and chain 2. So the first 3 chains we'll consider a double crochet, and then the last 2 will be a chain 2. So of course we need to turn. You can turn before you chain or after. I always like to chain and then turn, but it's up to you. I've got my chain 5, counts as a double crochet and chain 2. So now we're going to work 1 single crochet in that first chain 5 space. So that's that first big chain 5 right there. And we're not going to work into any of the particular chains. We're going to go right into the chain space. So that means we go right underneath all those chains with our hook. Just go ahead and grab the yarn on the other side, pull it up all the way around that chain. And if it twists the chain in there a little bit, that's fine. You can just give it a little tug. Doesn't need to be perfectly straight as we crochet around it. And just finish that single crochet right around that chain space. Then we start our repeat that takes us across the second row. So again, starting with the asterisk, we chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we jump all the way over here and single crochet in that next chain space. Easy peasy. If you get confused with all those chain spaces and things, you can just lay it out on your table so things kind of untwist them a little bit, straighten it out, and then keep going. Chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet in the next chain 5 space. And that's our repeat that gets us all the way across here, row 2, until we get right here to this end. Chaining 5 here isn't going to work. So what we want to do instead is mimic what we did at the beginning. Remember, it was a chain 5, but it was really a double crochet and chain 2. So we want to bookend our row the same way. So we chain 2, and then double crochet in that last single crochet. So you can see how that becomes really symmetrical with what we did at the beginning of that row. Just like that. So row 2 ends with chain 2 and double crochet in that last single crochet. That's the only place we've got our double crochets. So row 2 will be the first row of our repeat. Row 1 was just getting us set up. Row 2, which we just made, is the first row of the 2-row repeat that will take us most of the rest of the way of the bag until we're ready to finish off. So for row 3, we start with a chain 1 and turn, or turn and chain 1, however you like to do it. Get a little bit closer here, and then we're going to single crochet right in the top of that double crochet. There we go. And now we begin our repeat. We chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then jump all the way over and single crochet in that next chain 5 space. And then we do it again. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Find that next chain 5 space there and single crochet right in that chain 5 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we've come to the end. We've got another chain 5 space here, but remember, when we started row 2, it's really a double crochet and a chain 2. So this is the one exception. here you do want to make your single crochet in that third chain. So you can kind of count your way up here, 1, 2, 3. However you like to get your hook in there. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. This all just kind of creates a big mesh. There we go. And single crochet right in that top of that third chain. So now, if we hold it out, you can see that beautiful mesh we're creating. So rows 2 and 3 are the rows that we repeat to start building up that fabric. And when you start with a chain of 90, of course, it's going to be a lot wider. But essentially, you'll keep repeating rows 2 and 3, ending on a row 3 repeat for 53 rows, which should make it, when you kind of lay it out and stretch it out a little bit like this, because it does like to squish down like this while you're crocheting, but when you lay it down and straighten out like this, it should roughly make a square. So let's go ahead and repeat those rows 2 and 3 one more time to get down this row repeat. So let's do one more row 2. We start with a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3. Remember that third one is the top of our double crochet. 4, 5. That acts as our chain 2. And then we go straight into that first chain 5 space with a single crochet. Then chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Single crochet in the next chain 5 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the next chain 5 space. And then with this one, 1, 2, and double crochet in that last chain, or that last single crochet right there. When we come to that single crochet, we need to put our double crochet in it. There we go. Okay. You can always kind of stop and look. If we ended with a single crochet on the previous row, we're going to end with a double crochet on the next row. So that's our row 2 repeat. Let's do row 3 one more time together. We chain 1, single crochet in the top of the double crochet. Pull up a little bit more yarn here from my skein. I always like to try and control the tension with my hands rather than letting the skein do it. There we go. Then we begin our repeat for this row. Chain 5. We began with a single crochet, so we know we're going to end with a single crochet. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're kind of coming out. If you look at it closely, it's almost like we're coming out of a chain 5 space. We want to skip on over to this one and put our single crochet right in there. And then keep doing that across till we get to the end. Chain 5. That's 4, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And you can see when I'm working a mesh like this, it likes to kind of twist up on you a little bit. Sometimes I'll link my pinky finger here of my hook hand kind of through that first chain 5 loop just to help hold the fabric steady. It's just a habit I've gotten into over the years. I don't know if it'll help you guys or not, but I thought I'd pass it on. Now I began with this row with a single crochet, so I'm going to end with a single crochet. So I chain 5, I come over here to this chain 5 right here. I know that means I need a single crochet in the top of that third chain. Treat it like the top of a double crochet. So if you're one of those people who prefers, rather than chaining 3 for a double crochet, if you prefer using something like a chainless starting double crochet or a stacked double crochet or one of the other double crochet substitutes, you could do that for those first 3 chains and then just chain 2 if you prefer. But this is a really easy and simple mesh bag, so we don't have to get that fancy with it. As I say, we keep repeating rows 2 and 3 all the way through row 53. We want to make sure that we end on a row 3 repeat. So that's the row that begins and ends with the single crochet. So that's where we're at right now. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to the first cinch edge instructions. Now, if you read the instructions, it says join yarn with the slip stitch to the single crochet at the top right corner. Well, if we turn, we're kind of already attached. And I'm going to assume that they had us rejoining yarn there because if you do make the full-size bag, you're going to need 3 skeins. And this would be a great place to go ahead and join that last skein if you haven't already, just so you don't have to break the yarn while you're making the handles and the cinching up. Although, come to think of it, this first cinch edge we're going to have to break afterwards anyway, so Just depending on where you're at. For me, we're already attached to this top right edge. I say we just keep going. If you have broken your yarn, or maybe you want to do your handles in a different color, you can go ahead and just join to this first stitch with a slip stitch. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to be making single crochets across this row that's going to pull this edge in. So after we've joined, we go ahead and chain one, or you can just keep going and chain one. And then we're going to single crochet in that very first single crochet right there. So there's our first one. There we go. And then we are going to single crochet in each chain 5 space until we get to that last single crochet and single crochet in there. So come to that first chain 5 space and single crochet right in that space like we've been doing before. The difference is we don't have all those chains in between. Jump to the next one. Single crochet in there. You can see how quickly this one's going to go. Single crochet in that next one. All the way across until you get that very last single crochet. And then single crochet right in there. You can see just how much that's going to cinch up the end of your bag. And of course, on the full size one, you'll have 22 of those to all shrink in together. Then the 2nd through the 6th rows on this side are simply chain 1 and single crochet in each stitch across. So that's just really going to build up the ends of these of the bag here. And if we look at the photo, you can see that a little bit in there as well. I'm just going to go ahead and finish up my row here. So this would be the 2nd row, and you would just keep doing that. Chain 1 and single crochet across those stitches you made before till you've got 6 rows there on the end, or honestly, however many you'd prefer. This is the effect that we see if we look at the picture here, right there. Those are those rows we're building up across the cinched edge. So after we've done one edge, we'll pretend we've gone ahead and added 6 rows there. We go ahead and break our yarn and finish it off. And then we need to do the other edge. And I'm actually going to go ahead and bring in my slightly larger swatch here so we can get an even better view of that. So here I did 4 rows at the end, but we'll go ahead and say I did 6. After we've done that first cinched edge, it's time to do the 2nd cinched edge right here. This one's a little bit bigger, so it'll be a little bit easier to see in the next steps. So for the 2nd cinched edge, we do the same thing, but we now do it to the bottom foundation row. So it'll be just a little bit different. We do need to go ahead and join our yarn so we can find the bottom of that first single crochet and join right there with our slip stitch right there. And then I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet right back. We're going to call it the top because we flipped it around, but it's the bottom there of that single crochet. There we go. And then now we don't have chain 5s, but we do have these chain 3s. And that's basically, we want to treat them as if they were the chain 5s. We single crochet right in that chain 3 space. Each time, all the way across. Whoop, there we go. Keep going. Got a few more on this sample. This one, this little sample here, I started with a chain of 22, I believe. So if you, for some reason, want to make a teeny tiny little market bag, this would be a really fun size. Now you can see here on our little swatch, we've come all the way across here. So I'm just going to single crochet just as before in that last single crochet. And then, of course, we chain 1 and single crochet in each of those single crochets for a total of 6 rows. So you have the one where you did the cinching, and then rows 2 through 6 get the exact same treatment. After these ones, though, you don't break the yarn. We're going to continue to make our handles and then work all the way around the bag. So here you can say I've done 2 rows. Let's do a couple more. Chain 1 and single crochet all the way across. There we go. And somebody asked, would you do a standing single crochet in that first space to join? You could do a standing single crochet, but you wouldn't want to do it in that, if you wanted to do that instead of joining with a slip stitch is what she's asking here when we, well, here it was, where were we? When we joined down here with a slip stitch, you could instead join with a standing single crochet, but you'd want to make sure you join to that first single crochet, not to that chain 5 space. We do want to start working in the single crochet there and end in that last single crochet. That's why it's important for us to end on that row 3 repeat. So we've got those single crochets at the beginning and the end of the row. And of course, we'll have those on our foundation row as well. So let's see, we've got 2. Did I really only do 2 so far? All right, let's get a couple more in there. Chain 1 and turn. There we go. Keep going across. I'm going to add just a couple more rows here, finish this one and one more, and then we will be going to page 2 and talking about the handles and the final edge. So let's see, this is my 3rd one, I believe. So, yep, let's do one more. Double check there. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've already done 4. All right, perfect. That's what I thought. I was losing count there. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So in the written pattern, it calls for 6. I was just trying to get even here on my little sample. Again, if you want a wider handle section here or border section, you could go even wider than 6. I'm just going to go through 4 there for the sake of time. So that takes us to page 2, straps and edging. This is a 60 chain strap. It's the appropriate size for the full-sized one. I won't be going quite that far. But let's go ahead and get started on it. We're going to chain 1, and then it says single crochet in that first single crochet. So that would be this first one here along the cinched edge. Then we chain 60, or however long you'd like your strap to be. Again, 60 is a really nice one for this full-size bag shown, but you might like your straps shorter. Maybe you just want to use it on your hands, not have it as a shoulder bag. Maybe you'd like it even longer as a crossbody. You can chain here however long, again, you would like your handles to be. That said, take a note so that you can do the same number of chains on the other side. You do want your handles typically to be the same length. So for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Great number. So we'll stop there. Then we skip all the stitches in between here and single crochet in that last single crochet. In the full-size bag, that would be the next 22 stitches. In our little sample here, obviously we don't have that many because we didn't have that many loops to cinch up. But we can see we single crochet in that first one, chain however long you want your handle to be, and then single crochet in that last stitch of the cinching. That makes the strap. But now we're going to continue working around the body. So it says to work 6 single crochets along the side of the cinched edge. So that would be these rows here. So however many rows you worked along your cinched edge, I happen to do 4. We want to work right along the sides of those rows with a little bit of basically a border. So there's 1, 2. Of course, I only did 4 rows, so I'm going to only have 4 I can work into here. 3 and 4. If you'd kept going through 6, you'd have a couple more. But we just want to put a single crochet in the side of each one of those rows. Then we continue working across, let's see, just double check this is a long paragraph instructions. Let me find my place here. Work 1 single crochet around each stitch along first edge of body. Okay, so let's look at the side of our bag here. From the side, it kind of looks like mesh again, but really, we know that's a single crochet, that's a double crochet, that's a single crochet, that's a double crochet, that's a single crochet, that's a double crochet. So the way I read these instructions, we go, first one we come to here is a single crochet. So let's put a single crochet there. There's a double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and treat that just like it was one of those chain spaces. Single crochet, I'll go in the side of that. Double crochet, I'll treat it like one of the chain spaces. This is going to give us a really similar look to everywhere else in the bag. If you would prefer to split that double crochet or chain 3, on this side it's the double crochet, it'll be the chain 3 on the other side, then you can do that if you prefer. If you'd like to cinch up the sides more, skip the single crochet rows and just single crochet in the sides of the double crochets. It's your bag and you can adjust it however you like, whatever feels good on your hook, whatever you like the look of. So obviously we're not cinching it up as much in this one. Again, that's something you can see in the pictures. If you kind of see how the sides are a lot more open, that gives you that idea. And here we are. I've come all the way across. Now I am back at my cinched edge, so I want to do the same thing. Single crochet in the sides of each of those rows. Till we get up to the top there. And then we do the same thing for the strap. We single crochet in the top of that first single crochet there, then we chain 60, or again, whatever you want to use for the length of your handle. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on our little mini bag. Seems like a good size. Then we single crochet in that last single crochet of the cinched area. There we go. And then same thing down the other side. Move that little tail end out of our way here so we can see. We're just going to single crochet in the side of each of these rows. However many you made, whether you made the 6 that are called for or cheated like I did and left off a couple for the sake of time. Again, whatever you do to alter the pattern is fine. It's your bag. Make it your own. Just take a little note so you can make sure to do the same thing on each side. Then we come right back here to our sides of rows. So I'm going to single crochet and a single crochet, and then single crochet around a double crochet. On this side, it's the chain 3s, but we know those represented double crochets. I work my way all the way down this side here. Somebody asked what size of hook. This is a US H 5mm crochet hook. I think we can see it maybe right there. It's a little shiny under the lights. This is a Susan Bates 5mm twist and lock. There we are. So I am just working my way back down this second side here until we get right back to where we began. Almost there. You can see how it is still, even though we're not cinching it nearly as much as we did on those ends, it's still pulling together and pulling up our sides and sort of creating that bag shape that we've been looking for. And now we are back here at our last cinched side. So this is where we joined that yarn before, so we'll pull that tail out of the way. And then of course we want to single crochet in the sides of these rows as well, just like we did before, and give it that really nice edge. So there's, we'll say the second row, third row, there's my fourth one, so I'm good there. You'll have 6 again if you're making the full-size bag as written. And then that brings us right back to that first single crochet before we made our handles of this round. So now we just join with that single crochet right there with a slip stitch. So then to finish off this bag, we can do 3 more rounds. But essentially, if we look at the written instructions together here, second round, chain 1, single crochet in the first single crochet in each of those chains, then single crochet in each single crochet in each of those chains. Essentially, continue to single your crochet all around. Now, when you work into these handles, we are going to want to go into each one of these individual chains, not into the chain space. This is going to give us a much smoother handle. If we go into the chain space, they can kind of bunch up and pull together. So for this row, however many of those chains, you will want to single crochet into each one of those. And then you just keep single crocheting all the way around the bag for, again, another round, 2, 3 rounds, whatever you like. If you'd like to add even more rounds for a thicker handle, again, that's totally up to you. But eventually, you will have a little market bag. And here is our tiny little sample size. Again, you can see our handles aren't quite as thick and our sides aren't quite as thick because we didn't do those last few rounds of single crochet, but they are indeed optional. And I think this one is a really cute and fun little size. I'm not sure what all you could fit in there. Maybe an apple or an orange, something for your lunch, but it is a perfectly representative example of everything we do in this pattern. That's really all the stitches that are involved in the Lily Sugar and Cream Farming Fresh Crochet Market Tote. And again, you've got written instructions as well as a sample of the body here. You can see those single crochets and chains. Very simple pattern. Definitely an easy one to personalize for both size and color. You can use lots of different colors. Lily Sugar and Cream comes in so many beautiful colorways. You can have a lot of fun with this. They do work up rather quickly. And again, if you do want to change the size on this for your own purposes, it's a multiple of 4 plus 2 for that very first chain. So let's go ahead and come back up to the other camera here, and I'll see if I can find any other questions that I missed from you guys. I think I got them all, but thank you all so much for joining me today. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It is a great market tote. It's the kind of pattern that I find really addictive. Once you make one, you want to make another one, and then a friend sees it, and you're like, oh gosh, it's so quick and fun. I'll make another one for you. And of course, you can find so many fun colorways of Lily Sugar and Cream to work with. So I hope you enjoyed this Lunch and Learn. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all again soon. Have a great day, everybody.